The Silent Town. Jake was a traveler, always seeking the road less traveled. One evening, he stumbled upon a town not marked on any map. The sun was setting, and he needed a place to stay for the night. The town was strange. No lights, no people, just an eerie quiet that clung to the air. The buildings were old, their wooden frames creaking with the wind, and the streets were empty, as though forgotten by time. He saw an old inn at the center of the town, its sign swaying in the breeze. He knocked on the door, but no one answered. The door creaked open on its own. Inside, it was dim and dusty, yet the furniture was in place, as if someone had just left moments before. A log crackled in the fireplace, faintly glowing with embers. Strange, Jake muttered to himself, but exhaustion had set in. He found a room upstairs, its bed made, waiting. The inn seemed abandoned, but the warmth of the fire and the softness of the bed lulled him into a sense of security. He brushed off his unease and lay down to rest. Hours passed, and in the dead of night, Jake was awoken by a soft whispering. The sound was faint, like voices carried by the wind. He sat up, heart pounding, straining to listen. The whispers grew louder, closer, though he couldn't make out the words. His skin crawled with the sensation of being watched. He stood up and opened the door to the hallway. There was no one there, but the whispers surrounded him, filling the empty space. He hurried downstairs, hoping to leave, but as he reached the bottom step, he saw them. Figures, pale and shadowy, gathering at the far end of the inn. They had no eyes, no mouths, just hollow faces. The whispers came from them, growing louder as they slowly moved toward him. Panicking, Jake ran to the front door, but it slammed shut before he could reach it. He turned, looking for another way out, but the inn itself seemed to shift and change, the walls closing in, trapping him. The figures surrounded him, their whispers now deafening. He screamed for help, but there was no one to hear. They reached out with cold, translucent hands, their touch draining the warmth from his skin. Jake felt his energy slipping away, the life draining from him as the spirits closed in. The last thing he saw before everything went black was his own reflection in the window, fading, disappearing, until he was gone. The next morning, the town was as it always had been, silent, empty, forgotten. No one ever found Jake. He had become one of them, a whisper in the wind, waiting for the next traveler to stumble upon the town that no one lived in, but no one ever left.